So it leaves me to say a big welcome to Sarah, and thank you for your patience. So Sarah runs Goldie's Academy and does pet grooming, so dogs and cats, and also is an iPet trainer, aren't you? You're an iPet college or school.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep, iPet provider.
iPet provider, there you go, the right terminology. So I got in touch with you because there were some comments, wasn't there, around cat grooming, and I think you said that you were. I knew that there was a new iPet cat grooming course coming out, or was out, and I'd sort of been looking at it because we do cat grooming ourselves in our own salon, and cat grooming, I believe, is a really, really good add-on to your business, and can make you. It can be very profitable, albeit difficult. And I'm helping a cat groomer at the moment with her business, so it was quite interesting talking to her about the cat grooming aspects and side of things. And obviously there's been loads about dog grooming, loads of courses around dog grooming, so it's about time that cat's got a bit of the limelight, isn't it? So that's why I wanted to speak to you. We're going to learn all about the iPet cat grooming course at some point, but first of all, welcome, and perhaps you can just let us know a little bit about yourself and how you got into pet grooming and stuff like that.
Yep, well, I started grooming about 15 years ago. Started out as a veterinary nurse, and I worked on a Saturday when I was 15 years old at vet. Left school at 16, and they took me on as an on-place trainee. So I trained while I was working at the vet. Stayed there for about a year, and then decided on a career change and went into business administration. So I did that for a few years, and I worked in a private school for girls, and then had a few children and thought, I want to get back into the animals. So I trained while my youngest was at home with me. And then as soon as he started school, I started grooming. But just before he started school, I did loads of voluntary work at a local animal sanctuary. And I did my microchipping course as well. And I did loads of like charitable work. And I was in all the papers. And I was everywhere. Wherever you looked, you could see my business name. And it worked wonders for me. And then working at the animal sanctuary, when they rehome the pets, the dogs and the cats there, they would always give out my business card. So from day one, when I first started grooming, it just took off straight away. So I was really lucky.
Yeah, and you say you went and had a few children. How many children have you got?
I've got 4 of my own, and then my partner's got a son as well. So we've got 5 boys between us.
Yeah, you certainly got your hands full there, haven't you?
Small army, yeah.
We were talking about this just before we went live, wasn't there? Because there was a question in the group during the week about a lady who was looking to, obviously planning to have a family, and was concerned about how to get grooming to fit around that, or fit around that with grooming. How did you find it when you were having your children?
It was all right on the first 3, and then on my 4th one, which I had quite late, it was quite a shock because there's like a 20-odd age.
Where's she gone? Hold on, this is just not my day. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Don't work with people, animals, Facebook, StreamYard, Zoom, anything else like that. And tell me if it's Friday the 13th, because it's been really difficult today. We'll try and get Sarah back and see if she can rejoin it. If not, we'll have to do it another day. But anyway, hands up, who's going to be doing cat grooming after just hearing what Sarah said? Your cats put you off already? Are they evil? Sarah's back.
Back.
Hey!
Right, so there was a 20-odd year age gap between my first and my final child. So I had him when I was 42. And before I found out I was pregnant, I was working 5 days a week, full time. And I dropped to 3 days a week because I thought, being pregnant, I don't want to overexert myself. But in those 3 days, I crammed in as many dogs as I could. So I was probably working harder than what I was in the 5 days. And I finished working when I was about 38 weeks pregnant.
Oh dear. Stand by, everyone. This certainly isn't my day. We'll give it one more go, and then if it doesn't work, then we'll call it a day and try and do it another day for you when maybe Zoom's better or StreamYard decides to work. So basically, Emma, my wife, offers cat grooming, and we've always done cat grooming. She learnt how to do it in the vets, really, getting the cats sedated or whilst having all their mats shaved out. But there is more to it, obviously, than just shaving them off. We could, if Sarah doesn't come back, I might pick on someone else and see if they'll join me. Isabel. But it'd be nice to learn about the cat grooming course. Summer Wild. It definitely helps with cats if there's more than one of you. Definitely helps if there's more than one of you. And sometimes you only get one chance with a cat. And if you lose the cat whilst you're having that chance, then you just need to say, sorry, we can't do it, and take it back to the owner. But some cats, and something that I'm discussing with my client is we do all these puppy packages, and it's something that we'll be having a team meeting about. We're doing these puppy packages, and should we be doing like a kitten package for like the Maine Coons and stuff? Right, Sarah's back, so we're going to give it.
I've gone on my laptop now, so it might be a bit.
There you go, you're back.
All right, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Do you want to carry on with what you were saying, or?
I was just saying, sometimes you get one chance with a cat, and that's it. And if you lose it, you just have to give it back and say we tried.
Yeah.
So you obviously had your children, but you decided to take the leap, didn't you? I think you were working for another groomers, was that right? And then
I ran my own business within someone else's salon, because I had 2 salons previously when I had the other children, and then went in with my friend and ran my business there. And then I left there, and just before COVID hit, I decided that I'd open my own salon again. And about a week before COVID hit, I signed my lease.
Oh wow! And how did you feel about that? As you were,
it didn't bother me because I knew I could make it work here. But everyone else was saying, "What are you doing? You're silly signing a lease now because you don't know what's going to happen in the future." But I was adamant to do it, so I did it. Excellent.
That's a really good mindset, isn't it? And it's good that you sort of refuse to listen to other people. And I was talking to someone today, and it's like, if someone's giving me advice, I'm like, well, do you do that? Do you do that yourself? And and if your friends and family obviously aren't in business, then sometimes they give you that advice, but actually you want to listen to people that do that, don't you?
Yeah.
That run a business and have leases and charge VAT and stuff like that. So your business now is quite young, really, isn't it? March.
Yeah, I've been open a year now. So it's just been from day one, the day I opened the doors, I've been booked solid. But I think COVID helped me because when I opened, everybody needed a groomer. So I gained quite a few new customers. So it worked in my favour, really.
Yeah. And do you work on your own, or do you have staff? Or
I'm on my own, and it's on 2 floors. So my partner's upstairs. He runs a shop because I've got like a boutique upstairs. So he does that and he sees customers in, and then I'm downstairs working hard.
Working hard.
Yeah.
Thought about any like a bather or a prepper or anything like that, or
no?
Just use your students.
Yeah.
Cool. So so you've opened your school and you've opened your salon. You've taken it forward and done really well by the sounds of it. What sort of made you decide to open a school with it, or an academy?
Well, I've always wanted to teach cat grooming, only because it's quite a dangerous activity, and there's quite a few groomers who do it who don't really understand cats, and they think they can go in and groom a cat, and not only can they cause injury to the cat but also to themselves. It's totally different to dog grooming. And I really wanted a regulated certificate, and I couldn't find one anywhere. So I did a syllabus with the National Cat Groomers Institute in America.
Right.
But
did you go out there, or was it online?
No, because that was during COVID as well. Right. But I've done the syllabus, but to do the practical, you've got to go over there and do the practical. But it's a really good syllabus. It taught me quite a lot, opened my eyes to a few things. And then I just did a few courses online with Sophie Bell,
right,
from Animal Love First Aid. She's really good. And yeah, just went on and thought there's nothing out there and we need a regulated certificate. So I thought I would start writing one myself, do a course myself. And then just as I started doing it, iPet brought out their certificate, and I thought, ideal, I'll do that one. It's done for me.
yeah, they've saved you all that work, and they've gone for it, haven't they? So what would you so if you're talking to a groomer, so there's groomers watching this now that obviously do dogs, or they're setting up their grooming businesses at the moment, what would you say to them if they said, right, Sarah, I'm thinking about doing cat grooming, what advice can you give me, and what are the differences between grooming a dog and grooming a cat?
Right, okay, so cat grooming is massive. There are an estimated 11 million pet cats in the UK, whereas there's 9 million dogs. So it's about 25% of the population own a cat in the UK, so that's a quarter of the population. So there is a massive need for it. Most people go to the vets and they want to try and avoid that massive cost that the vets charge with the sedatives and the anaesthetics. So they try other options, and cat groomers are the cheaper option compared to vets, and probably are more experienced than the vets for cat grooming if you do it correctly. There are risks concerned. You've got to look at the overall health of the cat, make sure there's no heart murmurs. You've got to do a full health check on the cat, and the customers have got to be honest with you, get them to sign a declaration to say they're aware that their cat's got certain conditions. And there are some conditions where it is really risky to groom a cat because their stress levels can go from normal to so high in seconds. So you've got to try and groom as quickly and as safely as you can.
Yeah, and what sort of what issues do you see with cats? Like, obviously we've got the classic sort of matted dog syndrome in this country, where we see a lot of matted dogs, and we see a lot of probably borderline neglect cases at times. What sort of issues do you get faced with when it comes to cat grooming?
Well, things with cats, customers wait until they are like welfare cases, a lot of them. So it's trying to sort of adjust their mindset to get them to come in on a regular schedule, so like 6 to 8 weeks. And once you've done that, you've cracked it, because you could get a cat done in like 20 minutes easily. Whereas the more matted cases, they're more tricky. The handling's got to be totally different. They're going to be more stressed. There's more risk of injury to the cat and to yourself. So yeah, but if you can get them on a regular schedule, then it's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got one particular one that springs to mind that comes in every 4 weeks, regularly as clockwork. They have their groom, and it's not like a quick brush through. You know, every time there is hair that will come out of it, and you know that hair is sometimes on the verge of being matted itself. And then so we've got her on a direct debit. She pays us monthly. She comes in every 4 weeks. We're now Emma's an SQP, so she can sell frontline or stuff like that. So she's now buying frontline from us. So the cat is getting like the top quality sort of care, isn't it?
And they're happier as well. When they come in regularly, they are much happier and easier to groom compared to if they're matted. I've had one today ring me up, and she came in about 3 months ago, and I just couldn't do a cat. It was so matted to the skin, and it was really feisty, and it was so stressed. And I said to her, you need to go to the vets and get it anaesthetized because of the stress levels. And she's phoned me back today and said the vets won't do it, and it's got 10 times worse. Can I come in and hold it for you while you shave it? And I said, no, bring your vets back, because I can't. It was so stressed when it came in, and I hadn't even touched it. I just examined it, did the health check on it, and it was panting, and it was quite underweight, and it was absolutely solid. And I thought, I can't risk it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we don't often see. Yeah, you don't often see a cat panting, do you? That's a big sort of.
They don't pant because they're overheated. They pant because their heart's working so hard.
Yeah.
They've got to try and get the blood pumping around their body.
Yeah, that's it. So, you know, what other sort of danger signs or warning signs do you need to look for when it comes to the cats and their sort of stress levels?
Panting, heart rate. Normally, when they come in, I normally monitor their heart rate. When they come in, I give them a break for 10 minutes in a crate. Then I'll take their heart rate, and then I'll monitor that throughout the groom. So if it suddenly increases, I'll stop the groom. Or if they pant, salivate.
Yeah, sort of dribbling.
Yeah,
definitely.
So you've got to constantly monitor, whereas a dog, they sort of tell you, it's easy to pick up on their signs, but cats are quite hard to read. Same as when they arrive at the groomers, you can't tell what that cat's going to be like. You can't tell if it's going to attack you or whether it's going to be compliant, but you can see in the box if they hide under the covers or if they're at the front of the crate, or there's ways of seeing how they're going to behave.
So there's also, you know, we talk about the cat, but actually, before you even see the cat, there's probably things that you need to do within your salon or your area of work, isn't there? So straight away, maybe grills on the windows. You know, these cats are escape artists. So what would you recommend if someone was, again, you know, they're doing their dog grooming and they want to branch out into cats and obviously learn how to groom cats? What would you recommend for their actual cat area that they're going to be doing the grooming in?
Firstly, I wouldn't groom a cat with a dog in the room. So I have a cat only day, which is a Monday. So the cats are all in together. Well, they're not all in together, but they come in on the same day with no dogs to upset them and stress them out. I make sure everything's to hand. So I've got a drawer next to me with all my bits and bobs, all my grooming kit there. And I've always got a towel next to me, ready just in case.
What do you do with the towel?
You can wrap them in it, or you could just put it over their head if they absolutely flip. But yeah, there's lots of different methods. There's lots of restraints and things you can use. But in the UK, there isn't a lot available that you can purchase. You've got the air muzzles. You've got the Elizabethan cones. Towel's really good. Trying to think what else there is now. Yeah, there's sprays you can use, but they don't really work.
Yeah, you can get like Fellaway, is it? Fellaway adapters you can plug in. I know Isabel, she is a cat groomer, and she uses like catnip for some cats and just to calm them down while she's doing it. And toys, I suppose. But you don't want them to be too active, do you? Because obviously you need to get on with your job. But
sometimes it's harder to groom a cat that's over friendly because they're in your face all the time and brushing against you, and yeah, that's
it. But there's definitely like think security when it comes to cats. You know, dogs are quite easy to catch, and you'll probably get hold of a dog unless it's like my dog, that Chip, that gets out the door and runs down the park. But cats are just like mega escape artists. So it is literally like grills on your windows, shut all the windows, lock. So we have a separate room. We used to have one with a lock on it, so people couldn't just sort of come in and let the cat out, sort of thing. Getting customers to bring the cats in boxes. That is like touch wood so far, but that is a one mega rule for us. Is
I've had a few come in without boxes; they just carry them in from the car.
Yeah, I know.
They say, oh, they've escaped in the car. Can you come out and get it? on the
No.
main road. Yeah.
Yeah, just these
But
things.
never use restraints like nooses or anything on their necks. That's a no-no.
No, you've just paused there, but we can still hear you. So there's things to consider before you even, even look at the cat grooming course. Is your setup ready for it? Do you have that separate room, or do you have the secure windows, the
Sorry,
security? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Do you have the security in the different room, or the ability to have a different day and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's probably the first thing to think of, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And what
Definitely
about
no dogs.
sorry?
Definitely no dogs in the room.
Yeah, and obviously your customers aren't going to like that either. If they drop their nice cat off and there's a dog in there, they're going to worry about. Our dogs and cats get on well, but people are always going to have that worry, aren't they?
Yeah.
It causes the stress. So what sort of we mentioned some of the safety equipment. So cat grooming is different to dog grooming. So do you use different scissors, clippers, different equipment to help you?
Clippers, I just use a 10 blade normally if they're shaved off, or the attachments, the comb attachments if they want a longer trim. Just trying to think. Different combs I use. I use a carding comb, which is from Chris Christensen. That's how you say it. Which is a tiny little comb, and it just teases all the dead undercoat out. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
try and use the quietest clippers you can find. Which ones do I use? I use the Artero ones. They're quite good. The Spectra. And
do you find the cat's skin is completely different to a dog's skin?
Totally different, because it's not attached to muscles, so it's like chicken skin. When you get a chicken leg, and the skin moves around on it, and you can pull it, and it's not attached. So if it creases and you catch it, it will just ping open. So you've got to really learn your handling techniques and how to best clip them.
And obviously you're on your own, so how do you handle the cats? How do you get taught this sort of stuff?
Yep, I'll be teaching all that. Different handling methods. I normally use my lap quite a bit. They seem to be easier on your lap. They relax a lot more than on a table. You've got to use a little bit of restraint, but you've got to use it in the right way. Like scruffing, a lot of people won't scruff a cat. It can stress them out, but that's the last resort. If a cat's flying at your face, then you will. If that's the last thing you've got to do, you will scruff it to try and protect yourself. But I don't get very many like that. But all my cats are bathed as well, so.
Yeah. Oh, right. So, okay, let's go into cat bathing as well, because that might be completely alien for some customers and also some people in this group. And we do cat bathing, but go on.
It does calm them down, but I don't use a shower on them because it's not the water they don't like. They're quite relaxed in the water. It's the actual noise of the shower. So what I use is a tank, like a big stainless steel bath. I fill it up, pop them in there with no restraints on them. And I've taken the shower head off a hose. So it's just like a flow of water. So there's no hissing noise. And it seems to work brilliantly. And then they're just wrapped afterwards, after they're washed. And then I just blow dry them like I would do a dog.
Do you use blasters or just the normal hair dryer?
I do use a blaster if they're really compliant, and I use a blaster on them, but I put a hoodie on them so they can't hear it.
Yeah. And what sort of same shampoos as dog grooming, or do they need a different?
You've got to be careful with the essential oils, which a lot of dog grooming shampoos have got in them. So you've got to be really careful. You want a really good degreaser. I use the Chubb's bars from America.
Right.
So I use those. Yeah, they work.
And would your customers say? So is it like a condition that all cats that come into you will bath them, whatever, or do you?
I do tell them that. I do say to my customers it's including a bath, and they say, "You bath my cat," and I'm like, "Yeah." It makes the groom so much easier, and the coat afterwards is amazing.
Yeah.
If you try and groom a dirty cat with a dirty coat, try and get the mats out, I just put them straight in the bath. As soon as they come in, they're in the bath, unless they're totally pelted.
Yeah.
and they need a lion cut. But normally, if there's a few mats and tangles, I'll put them in the bath, and then they just glide out when you dry them and brush them out. And
then do you
being dried, they like it.
And do they get a little scented spray at the end of it or anything like that?
No, I don't spray mine, just in case, just to be on the safe side.
They probably go out there and say, "Oh, I now stink like everything in the neighbourhood. I want to go back out there into my territory and don't like this smell." So the lion clip. Let's talk about the lion clip.
Right.
Do you get lion clip haters? Because we do.
No. Normally they come in and ask for it. So
that's it. They come in. The customers come in and ask for it. So a lion clip, for people that don't know, is it basically looks like a lion, isn't it? A very short body, sort of long on the legs, longer around the face, and a nice
like
fluffy tail.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like a lollipop.
Yeah, and we obviously get customers ask us for it. We put the images on social media and talk about a lion clip, and we get some real sort of haters, some real sort of lion clip haters. It's funny, isn't it?
You will get like some of the activists that don't like it because they think it's done for aesthetic purposes, and sometimes it is for welfare reasons. It's the only thing you can do. But all mine have a sanitary trim. They have a tummy trim. They like shave up on the tummy just to keep on top of it. And then a few have a few of them have a lion trim in the summer. If they can't be bothered to brush their cats, they'll just say shave it off and it'll grow back by the winter. But then with that, you've got to be careful of the sun because sunburn and overheating.
So a lion clip, what blade is a lion clip? That's like a 10 blade, isn't it?
I do it on a 10 reverse.
Yeah, so it's really, really short, isn't it? But they do look. I actually think they do look really nice, and
they feel like peaches afterwards. I love you.
And the thing about
sorry. Even with the lion trim, I still wash them afterwards.
Right. Okay. Cool. And the sanitary trim, obviously, we get cats in with and this is the sad thing about people leaving cats as long as they do, and this is how you can make a difference with cats' lives and stuff. Is you get some cats come in and they can't reach their trousers and their bottom, and they get really sort of dirty around the back end, don't they? And we know that cats don't like that. Cats like to be clean, don't they? And they like to be washing themselves and cleaning themselves. So that sort of hygiene trim that's what that's about, isn't it? Getting rid of all the hair and the dirty hair around the bum and stuff.
And because a few of them traipse through the cat litter tray with hairy feet, and they'll traipse it all around the house. So I do like little foot trims as well. Yeah,
get rid of all the hairs. And do you do nail trims? So do you trim all the cat's nails before on every groom, or
that's the first thing I do is their claws.
Yeah. And let's talk safety equipment. So you touched on it earlier about the air muzzle, and that's something that we use. We call it the cat ball. So for those that don't know, it is literally an open ball.
It's like a hamster ball, isn't it?
Yeah, like a hamster ball, but the cat can look out and it can bite and it can meow and growl and hiss, and I think it can sometimes bite the plastic sometimes, can't it? They're big, but it basically fits around their head, so you can groom them and they can't bite you, basically, isn't it? That's what it's there for.
They're really good.
And what was the other one? Did you say it's just a normal? Is it like a normal comb?
E-collar. It's just the Elizabethan collar, so it just overextends over their face, so they can't turn around and bite you. So they're not as safe they don't feel as safe to me as the air muzzles.
No, that's it. And if you're looking for air muzzles, there's quite a lot on eBay now, but we generally get ours from Germany, I think. A company in Germany. Might be. Emma would know, but they are quite expensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sort of £70.
Yeah, about 75. I sell them for 75.
Oh, there you go. So, but I would probably go for the more expensive one. Then there are some cheaper versions on eBay, but Emma doesn't really doesn't think that it'd be any good. So, so. Do you wear gauntlets? We have this fear of cats, or do you wear sleeves on your arms or anything like that?
No, nothing. I just go naked and wish for the best.
Just get out of the way quickly.
But I have been injured by a cat quite badly, and it put me off work for 6 months.
Wow.
So that's why I want a regulated course so people can train properly. And
you happy to share? What happened?
It was a feral cat, and it went to the vet. The lady had been feeding it in her garden for a year and then decided that she wanted to take it in the house, but it smelt and it was matted. So she took it to the vets, and it had a slight heart murmur, and it was really old. It was about 16, 17. So the vet rang me and said, Sarah, could you groom it? And I said, I'll have a go, but seeing as it's feral, it might be too stressful for it. And it was brilliant. And I groomed it, clipped it all off, did a lion trim on it, and it just laid there. It was best behaved cat. And then the lady said, oh, I want it washed as well. So I said, right, if you want to wait outside, I'll quickly wash it for you. And at this point, I did take its muzzle off, and I lowered it into the bath, and I pressed the button, and the shower came on. And it just flew through the air, and it attached to my thumb, and I couldn't get it off. It went straight through the bone.
Oh.
Luckily, I had someone working with me at the time, and she managed to prise it off my thumb. And I went straight to the doctors, got antibiotics, and they cleaned it out. And the next day I came into work, and my thumb was about 5 times the size it should have been, and it was black. So I saw the pharmacist, and he said, get up to casualty. So I went up there, and then a week later, I was feeling really poorly, like flu-y.
Yeah.
And I went back to casualty, and they admitted me there and then, and I was on intravenous antibiotics for 5 days, gave me sepsis. And I had 3 operations under general anaesthetic to try and clean out my thumb. And it gave me a bone infection that started travelling up my arm.
God.
So, yeah, I was quite poorly. But, yeah.
And you still groom cats?
Yeah. I'm a bit more wary now. I think outside the box a bit more.
Well, was that what taught you about this shower head and taking the shower head off and using the hose and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Cool. So how did you you obviously want to educate people on how to do this safely and properly, not only for your own health but for the cat's health, because that's really important. I think it's a really important add-on to your business if you could do cat grooming. As I said earlier, it's obviously there's something there demand-wise. There's customers out there that need it and want it, and it can be very profitable for you. So you've decided to, obviously, iPet have taken out this cat grooming course. So you're now a teacher. What did you need to do to get qualified to teach the iPet course?
You have to have your level 3 Sitting Guilds diploma or equivalent, so OCN or iPet diploma, and a teaching certificate is favourable as well. So I've done my teaching certificate. And experience, they need to know what experience you've had. You have to prove your experience.
How about
that? There's my thumb.
Yeah, there's my thumb.
References and things as well from customers to show how long you've been grooming cats.
Oh, that's interesting.
So and they do a full audit on you. So they check everything's in place, health and safety.
I mean, that must be, actually, think about health and safety. That's probably a whole new document, isn't it? You've got your general health and safety policy at the shop, but you've probably got health and safety document just for specific cat grooming.
Yeah.
For those very reasons that you demonstrated with your thumb, I suppose.
Yeah.
And do they come around and have a look and do like a safety check on your salon? So, like you said, like
we have that at the very start. They do 2 checks a year, so they audit you every 6 months, just to make sure everything's running correctly. And that you're following the protocol.
Talk us through the cat grooming syllabus. What courses can you offer now?
You've got, I've written it down because I can't remember off the top of my head. So you've got the introduction to cat grooming, which is like the first one. And that's a 5-day course with practical and theory to complete at home. And that teaches you the basics of cat grooming. So how to prepare them, bath them, brush them out. And then you can go on to do the cat grooming intro to styling. That's the more involved one. So that's more like a level 2/3 in the dog grooming one. That's a 10-day practical one, and then theory to do at home. And then you've got the final one, which is the diploma, which is a 25-day course. And that gives you the feline first aid as well.
Right.
Quite an intense course, but it's really good course.
And
if you're really qualified, if you're experienced, you can go on and do the fast track for the diploma and the certificate.
Oh, okay. So I take it as the person that offers these courses, you have to provide a variety of cats. So do they sort of help you with your customers' cats, or do you supervise them whilst they do the cat?
Yep. So my customers' cats will come in on a Monday. So my training day will be a Monday. And there's so many different breeds of cats that come in. So they'll have a good choice of cats to groom, different varieties, different temperaments.
Yeah.
I've got 4 of my own that I can take in.
Excellent.
So yeah, we can do lion cuts on those.
What breeds have you got?
I've got a Persian, little white Persian. I've got a Persian cross Bengal, and I've got 2 Savannah cats.
Right. Lovely.
So claw cutting on the Savannahs will be interesting.
So learning how to hold them and those sort of techniques is really important, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if you've never done cat grooming before, would you recommend the introduction, or do you think you could probably, if you're an experienced dog groomer, you could go straight in for the level 3?
I would say if you're an experienced dog groomer, go in for the level 3.
So straight in for the full course.
Yeah. But if you just want to do standalone cat grooming, I would start at the beginning and work your way up.
Work your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And going into sort of how you do your cat grooming and stuff, what's your sort of average amount of time that you spend grooming a cat? Or
I normally say to customers, allow 2 hours. But normally the cat's done and dusted within an hour or less.
Yeah, and just to give an idea to people that don't do cat grooming, what sort of prices do you, if you're happy to discuss that, what sort of price?
It can vary. For a normal brush through, regular is £40. Lion trim is 85. And then I do add-ons as well. So I do they all have a sanitary trim, and then if they want a chest, like up to the chest shave, it's extra. If there's 3 different levels of matting, I charge extra for each level.
Yeah, excellent.
Regular £40 groom. Yeah,
and I'd say that's quite important. We introduced a DMAT charge, so we do it at £60 an hour. So 15 minutes, £15. So we actually have a timer, so we know how much time we're spending, because we're finding that some cats come in and because of their skin, and like Emma comes home frazzled some days, because it's a bit like being a bomb diffuser. You're sort of picking through the
hard on your forearms as well. You've got to have quite strong forearms to do a cat.
Yeah, you're sort of picking through the mats and trying not to nick the skin. Yeah. So it's like, well, actually, we're gonna have to charge to do this, because there's nothing more you can do. You're doing that line trim, or you're picking out those mats. So it's going to take a lot of time, and then that's pushing other customers back as well, isn't it? So we do have a DMAT charge now, which is based on £60 an hour, and it's to charge for our time, but also maybe there's a bit of a deterrent for the owner to try and sort of say, look,
you could get a standard grooming and charge like £40 for a brush through, but then you could get another cat in that's quite matted on the sides, and it could take you like half an hour longer.
Yeah, that's it. And some of these cats are pretty big as well.
Yeah, grooms come in huge, some of them.
Yeah, that's it. So and so price-wise, we're very similar. Our standard groom's around 55. We charge an extra 25 for a bath, so we don't. It's like an optional extra. Around 75 for a line trim, but and then face sort of clean and stuff like that. But generally, I would say cats probably don't walk out, get carried out for less than £100 minimum, really. So £100 for an hour, maybe a bit less if they come in quite often, but an hour or so, that's where I think you can really sort of good add-on to your business.
Get regular customers coming in, it can be really lucrative.
Yeah, definitely. Are you happy to discuss the prices of your courses? Does iPet set the price, or is that down to you? As they
set a sort of guide of what you can charge. I look at it like if I was training, what I would want to pay.
Okay.
So for the introduction to cat grooming, that's 950.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the second level, which is the cat grooming intro and styling, that's 1,800. And then the diploma is 2,600 for 25 days.
Yeah.
So it's sort of in par with the dog grooming training, really, the qualifications. And then the fast tracks, the diploma's 1,300 and the certificate's 700.
Right. And, you know, the return on investment, so like if you're paying to get that training, could be very quick because there is that demand out there. There is that need and that demand. And also sort of elderly cats, obviously vets don't really want to sedate them or put them on as an anesthetic to shave them off. So you will get those referrals for elderly cats. What are your thoughts? You know, do you do elderly cats? Obviously, you care for them and you check out their health.
Elderly ones, because they suffer with matting because of arthritis and things. They can't clean themselves properly. They can't reach their back end, and they seem to get quite matted on their backs as well. So I see quite a few of them with overgrown claws. That's quite a big one.
Yeah, claws in the pads.
Yeah,
definitely.
And as they get older, their claws get really thick as well. It's hard. They don't shed their claws. So yeah,
yes,
get quite a few old ones in.
And just out of interest, so we do a lot of old cats. Obviously, there's a lot of vet referrals there. You can, you know, do the course, and then you can get the experience under your belt and start looking at, you know, you're a cat grooming specialist in your area, and that can really obviously raise your profile with your advertising and talking to your customers. Do you link in with any breeders or anything like that, or do you just advertise on websites and Facebook and stuff?
Just Facebook, really, and word of mouth. A lot of mine is word of mouth. Facebook's brilliant. We've got like a local gossip girl page, and it's always on there. Like, anyone know anyone that grooms a cat? And my name always pings up. So it's Facebook is good for that. And pictures speak 1,000 words. If you start putting pictures on of cats that you've done, you'll get lots of people. Rather than just putting some few odd words up, a picture will just stand out.
That's it, and the odd lion clip hater, but there you go. You're always going to get that. And I can't remember what I was going to say now. But also, have you any thoughts around a kitten package? Now, I've been exploring this with Emma and a lady that I help at the moment who does just cats. And Elizabeth Edmonds obviously put into our group about a puppy package that she's been developing and working on. I think there might be a space there for a kitten.
Yeah, I think there is. I was thinking about doing a kitten package, but I haven't actually written one up yet. But yeah, I think there's definitely a call for that. Something else to do.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the
early on, and they'll get used to it.
That's right, and obviously that's the main aim for the puppy package, isn't it? And to get them to come in regularly. So there's a big sort of trend, I suppose, with the Maine Coon sort of breed and breeding of the cats. Again, the kitten prices aren't similar to puppy prices at the moment, but there is an increase, isn't there? And there's an increase in Maine Coons and big sort of long-haired cats.
Pretty ones,
Sorry?
Well, the fluffy, pretty ones.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So there is going to be that spike in demand, and I think getting a kitten package out there, again, you know, you obviously you're out there as a cat grooming specialist, so get that kitten package out there, and you could really sort of start picking them up a lot earlier in their sort of life, and hopefully helping them a lot quicker.
I spoke to a student today who wants to do some volunteer work with me. She's just training. She's doing a level, I think she's doing a diploma in dog grooming. And I said to her, "Oh, what days would you like to come in?" I said, "Mondays is my cat only day." And she said, "What do you mean cat only day?" And she said, "Are you pulling my leg? Do you do cats?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I've never even heard of it." So I think like a lot of people don't realise that there are cat groomers out there, and it's changing the public's perception of grooming cats, because really they are like, well, they're not like dogs, but they need to be groomed the same sort of thing on a regular schedule. Rather than fill their welfare cases, people need to know that they are, you know, they do require grooming.
That's it, and I think we highlighted tonight what some specific issues that cats get, and you know, they can't reach certain parts of their body if they get too plump as well, because that's another sort of you know, common issue with the pets, isn't it?
They're the easiest ones to groom, with big
chunky ones.
Yeah, that's they can't go so quick.
Not so
Like
wriggly. Yeah.
But yeah, and the claws going into the pads, and I suppose, you know, unless you have your cat on your lap regularly and you're brushing it, then you're not going to notice this sort of stuff. But again, that's another course, isn't it? How to brush your cat course for your cat owners. You know, get them in and educate them. They'll pay for that and upsell the brushes and the combs and and stuff like that. So there's loads.
Yeah, there is a big market in it. There is quite an expanse. You know, you can do quite a few things with it.
Yeah. Let's have a look, scroll through and have a look at some questions, because it's been very busy in the chat. I don't think you can see it. Can you see the chat?
No.
No, you can't. Okay, so there's quite a lot. Very specialised. I would say it is specialised, but obviously now you can start learning the skill, can't you, and getting a qualification.
Yeah.
They're going to start.
I think there's currently four people in the UK that are teaching the iPet qualification. So you've got me, I'm in Devon. You've got Heidi Anderton, she's in London.
Yeah.
Who else is there? There is. Can't find them now. I've lost them.
Lauren's got a dog cat. I've got a cat dog. The dog that goes out during the day and it's like a dog, but when it's at home, it just behaves like a cat. Do you have cats where you get them out of the box, or you even look at the box and the box is rocking from side to side and you just go, no, I can't do it? Do you send many cats home? Do you send many cats home that you just think, I can't do that?
I never used to until I got bitten, and then I thought, do you know what? It teaches you to think, is it really worth it? Is it worth risking 6 months off work or whatever?
No, that's it.
I don't beat myself up over it now. I used to. I used to think, I can't do it. And now I just think, right, you've got to draw the line and you've got to think of yourself and the welfare of that cat. And you've got to say, I just can't do it. Sorry, you're going to have to take it to the vet. Or try and do it in stages so you could do a bit at a time. So what I do with my customers now when they come in, they sign a form and there's a little disclaimer on the bottom that says that if the cat groom can't be completed today, there will be a charge, but it won't be the full charge. So I charge £20. And then I say to them, you know, bring it back in 2 weeks' time or a week's time and we'll try again and we'll do a little bit more and do it in stages.
Yeah, bit by bit.
Whole thing.
Yeah. There are some occasions where you've got one chance to sort the cat, and you just got to hold on and get it done. Obviously, as a solo groomer, that's a lot harder for you. But Emma's motto, I suppose, in our salon is, I will try. You know, I'll give it a go. But again, if it's too stressed or it's causing too many issues or it's too dangerous for us, then it's going to go back into its box and it's going to be.
I sort of zone out when I'm grooming a cat. I just zone out and I don't want any interruptions. So I'm just all on my own, nice and quiet, and I'm fully concentrating on the cat. So you seem to get it done a lot easier. Whereas if you've got interruptions all the time, like people in the background with blasters going and things like that, it's absolutely horrendous.
So we got some votes for Sophie Bell's first aid course. Is that cat specific?
There is one. She does. What one is it? It's the feline health and well-being. That's brilliant.
Is that an online course or is it an in-person?
It's an online course, and you can download the workbook with it as well, which is really good. Like to flick back through. There's lots of. She covers a lot of health issues with cats, which is really good. Brilliant course. Really well written.
There you go. We've got one comment here. I've never heard of anyone grooming a cat. So, you know, they are out there. Yeah. Lauren asks, and I think Lauren wants to add this service to her business. Do you find cats come in with fleas more often than dogs, or is that a myth?
I can honestly say I don't see any fleas on cats. Not
You
here
do?
Anyway. I think a lot of the cats that I groom are indoor cats.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you live somewhere where they're out and about, you probably get quite a few more fleas. But where I am, a lot of them are indoor cats, so I don't see very many fleas. But again, if you do get one with fleas, you can't use the flea shampoos that you would use on a dog because of the toxic.
Yes, be really careful with flea products for cats, because some flea products will actually kill a cat, won't they?
Yeah.
They are toxic for cats.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely see cats with fleas, and you see them leaping about. So fortunately, as I said, Emma's an SQP, so a suitably qualified person, and that was an add-on to her veterinary nursing qualification. So we are able to sell the frontline products, so we can upsell, but we still carry on. We still carry on groom them, and then we obviously have to spray the whole room with indirects, and that's something else that we stock in the shop as well, for them to take home. And again, it's educating the client around the life cycle of a flea. But yeah, we do actually see a few cats with hooching with fleas, some of them.
I get quite a few cats in where the customers have tried to do it themselves and cut a massive hole in them, and they just come in with big holes, and they're like,
As in fur?
Pardon?
As in their fur or their...
No, in their skin.
Wow.
I had one during lockdown, and she said, oh, I've tried to do it myself. So I said, look, I'll do it, because it is a welfare case. And I went and picked it up, and if you could have seen its leg, and it was like 2 weeks after that she'd done it, and the scar on its leg, and it was just a weeping mess. Big, it was like probably about that sort of size.
Yeah, that's not right.
Just a big sore.
The cats are very good healers, aren't they? Obviously, but that's really poor. Helen's is interested to know what the modules are for the qualification on the fast track. Do you have that?
Fast track is, I haven't got it written down, but I can put it all on afterwards so you can have a look. But it covers everything. First aid. You have to come in for a day to do your first aid training. That's the feline emergency first aid. And you'll cover health and safety. I think what else? Clipping, handling techniques. Yeah, it's quite a lot. It covers everything.
And obviously, is the syllabus all on the iPet network websites as well? I know it's on your website as well, isn't it? So we'll put that on there afterwards. Lauren's asked if you use a handheld hairdryer or a blaster. Obviously,
stand dryer.
Stand blast, yeah. And
I use a blaster and then a stand dryer.
Yeah, and we've also got just your normal hairdryer as well for some of them.
I don't use a hairdryer, I just use my stand dryer. It's easier, hands-free. You need all the hands you can get when you work on your own.
Yes, that is very true. We're very lucky because we have extra people with us. Susie has customers that don't or won't pay for a bath, and she's using leave-in shampoo. Is that recommended? Do you use a leave-in shampoo? I suppose you bath all of yours.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you then.
Susie has customers that won't or don't pay for a bath, so she gives them the option to have a bath, but uses a leave-in shampoo with them. But I suppose you bath all of yours, so you don't really.
Yeah, no, I don't use the dry shampoos because I'm always worried they might lick them out. Because
yeah, that's true.
It sits on their coat, so all I use if they don't want a bath, what I would use is corn flour.
Okay,
really elderly corn flour is amazing. I've got it in you get like the travel baby talc bottles, you know the ones I mean, and I just fill those with corn flour. So I put it all over the cat, rub it in, brush it through, comb it through, and the mats just glide out.
Oh, okay. Does it turn the cat grey?
Pardon?
Does it turn the cat grey or anything like that? Or
no, because I dry them as well afterwards, so it blows it all out. But there's lots of different tricks you can use to like help with the matting and things.
So you sprinkle cover the cat in corn flour, then just brush it through, and it helps to loosen up all the hair.
I don't sneak it in it. And someone said to me, I said to them once, put a little bit of corn flour on its tail and just brush it through, because she was really struggling. She said, do I put water with it? I said, no, no water.
Excellent. That'd be quite interesting. So Emma had, and she might have to correct me, but I think it was a cat that had gone under a car and it was covered in car oil.
Yeah.
And they brought it in, and Emma said to them, right, when you come in with your cat, bring in a tub of margarine with you, and we literally smothered the cat in margarine. So you use an oil to fight an oil, if that makes sense, and then get rid of all the. So we did a little blog about that. So we bathed the cat in butter. I'm just going through all of the questions here just to make sure we've covered everything for everyone. Where are you based, Sarah? You're Devon. Whereabouts in Devon are you?
I'm in South Brent, which is between Plymouth and Exeter.
So obviously people have to travel to use your courses, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do it online. There's your cat.
My baby.
Natalie's saying, then you're a cat groomer. I am. There is such a demand for cat grooming.
Yeah, it's a massive demand.
How many cats do you groom per day?
I try not to do too many, so I'll probably do about 5 or 6 a day.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, really, isn't it? Actually,
is it?
Yeah, I think it would be. I suppose, yeah, it could be, couldn't it? Because they do, like you said, they come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? You can get some real big, some of them are bigger than small dogs.
Yeah.
Get some real heavy ones as well.
Yeah.
If you can't groom them, do you send them home and charge them? I think we covered that one. Yeah. There's courses in Kent. How do you get the customers to pay the prices? Well, it's no different than dog grooming, isn't it? This is our price. This is what you get for our price.
Wide, and that's it.
Yeah, and people that unfortunately, people that need their cats grooming to start with probably get to that point where they realize that the cat's having some issues and needs to be groomed. So at that point, it's kind of really essential that the cat is groomed. And then I suppose it comes down to that education, doesn't it? And saying, if you do this more often, it's not going to cost you as much. Yeah. And obviously the cat's going to be healthier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. But also, it's what we're saying, it is a specialist skill. It's not the same as dog grooming, and it's a very specialist skill that needs a very steady hand and training to do it. So again, that's another reason why you can justify charging more in some cases than doing a dog.
Yeah. Just the equipment alone for cats is so much more expensive. I mean, the comb I've got was about, I think, a tiny little comb, and it was £60. So yeah.
There you go. And those, the cat ball.
Customers don't see that side of it.
No, cat ball, £75. Yeah. So it's a specialist skill, requires education, dedication, practice, training, and experience, plus all like separate equipment, separate, possibly even a separate bath. Although we used to use a baby bath and put it in the main bath for them. But there's all this to add on to your prices, isn't there? And
I find also the tables. If you've got a slippery top table, it's a lot easier to groom a cat on a slidey surface.
Is that because they want to stop themselves?
Yeah, because if you've got a rubber mat on your grooming table, they'll dig into it and they can like pull themselves around. And whereas if you've got a slippery surface, like the new glass top tables, I've got one of the glass light up ones,
right? And
it's amazing. It's really good. Or a stainless steel. I've got a splashback that I bought and I've attached it to one of my tables so they can't get traction on it. It's so much easier, and you can just like maneuver them around really easily.
So these some top tips coming out here: cornflower.
Yep.
Shiny tables.
Yep.
Towels. Cat balls. There's loads of stuff with cat grooming. It's a whole different world, and it's a whole new add-on to your business. So,
and even with bathing, it's hard. It's quite scary when you first bath a cat because they do try and jump out, and you can't restrain them. You can't put a noose around their neck, but you can buy like the wire cat boxes, like the cat cages.
Yeah.
And you could put and you could bath it through that. So it keeps them secure. So until you learn to handle them properly, you could bath them that way.
Another top tip there. I never thought of that. Excellent. Well, Sarah, what we're going to do is we'll wrap it up. It's 8:45. It's taken us some time with the technical difficulties that we've had, but we've got there at last. I'll pop all of your details in the chat, and we'll grab all your website details and your email address if people want to email you, or just let us know what your website address is and your email address and stuff.
Okay. Do you want me to do that now?
You know
or-
it? Yeah.
So my website address is goldiesacademy.co.uk, and you can email me via my website.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you don't know your email
We've
address.
got a Facebook page as well, which is really good. There's 2 Facebook pages which are brilliant, and
Go on.
one is, what is it? I can't think what it is. Cat Grooming Support UK.
Ah, is that a group or page or?
Yeah, that's a group. So it's Cat Grooming Support UK, and there's
Excellent.
another one which is Cat Grooming UK.
And
So I run the support one, and Heidi Anderton runs the other one.
cool. So go and check
There's
them out.
really
And
good tips on there, brilliant tips on that.
yeah, go and check them out. And you know, if you're interested in cat grooming, definitely get in touch with an iPet training provider, because obviously you can tell people all the pitfalls, but all the positives as well, can't you?
My cat's tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you hang out in our group as well, don't you? So any questions, they can just tag you in those questions, and I'll tag you in the questions as well if we get any specific
Brilliant.
cat ones.
Lovely.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for your
Thank you.
time.
Take care.
And have a good evening.
And you. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.